Okay, so part C, it says the point P here has coordinates A, B. All right, write down the three inequalities involving A and B, which are such that point P will be strictly contained within the shaded area above, if and only if all three inequalities are satisfied. You notice what I've done here, okay? I've used a highlighter here to highlight the boundary of this shaded area, yeah? Okay, and you can see that there are three sort of sides to it, if you like. You've got this line here, and then that curvy bit there, okay? Which is the boundary of the shaded area. And they're saying P is going to be strictly contained within the shaded area above. So, you know, P could be there, for instance. P could be anywhere in here, but it's got to be strictly within it. So if it's strictly within it, it cannot be on the line, okay? It cannot be on that line, and it can't be on the curve. It can't be on the boundary, so to speak, okay? It's got to be inside, strictly inside it. So we got to think about what coordinates we could have for AB, okay? What coordinates we can have for AB, and we can use what we know about that line there, what we know about this line, and what we know about this curve. So let's start off with this line here. So we've got y equals, haven't we, 2x plus 10. I've just taken the equation from here, yeah, because that's what that line is. Let's think about it. We want our point P, okay, to be underneath that line, don't we? Okay, we want it to be underneath the line. We don't want it to be on the line. If it was on the line, then it would satisfy this equation, wouldn't it? Y would equal 2x plus 10 if it was on the line. If it was above the line, then our y would actually be greater than 2x plus 10, if you think about it. Because the line is what 2x plus 10 is, and if it was above it, the value of y then, up here, for instance, would be greater than the value on the line. Okay, so suppose P was there, above the line, the value of y, whatever it is, would be greater than whatever 2x plus 10 is there on that line. Okay, we don't want that situation, don't we? We don't want that. We want it to be underneath the line. So actually we want y to be less than 2x plus 10. We want our value for y, in this instance here, the value of y, whatever it is going to be less than whatever 2x plus 10, which is above it, yeah? So that would work there, okay? So for every value of P, satisfying this inequality will work. So for P, being the coordinate AB, we can substitute in then our A and B. So in this case, of course, my X would be A, yeah, and my Y would be B, because that's the order we follow, yeah. So we'll put then B, it's got to be less than 2A plus 10. So that's our first inequality, okay, that we've got, first inequality. Now let's look at the curve bit here, okay. Now, of course, the curve bit will be y equals 25 minus x squared. And we consider the same situation then, right? So we say, look, for P, A, B, let's think about where we want our point, okay? Well, do we want it to be above the curve? Now, if you think about it here, my point P could be here, couldn't it? Okay, do we want it to be above the curve? In other words, do we want y to be greater than the curve? Well, if y was greater than the curve, in other words, if y was greater than 25 minus x squared, okay, y would be up here, wouldn't it? Y would be greater than the curve, so it would be up here. So we don't want that, okay? We want it to be less than the curve. We want it to be underneath the curve. Okay, so my value of y here for P is going to be less than 25 minus x squared. So for this point AB, we're going to have then B, which is my y value, is going to be less than 25 minus a squared. So we've got our second inequality. My final inequality then is based on that line there, yeah? Now that line, okay, it's not given to us here. We should know what that line is there. On that line, of course, always y is equal to 0. If you think about it, yeah? Every coordinate there, y is 0. So in this case, okay, for y equals 0, our general point P will take that point again here, okay? Do we want our y value, okay, to equal 0? Well, no, we don't want it to equal 0 because we don't want it to be on here. Do we want it to be less than 0? Do we want this? Do we want y to be less than 0? Well, no, if y was less than 0, we'd be down here. So we've got to be above 0, haven't we? So in this case, we want y to be greater than 0, okay? That's what will satisfy this here. So for our point PAB. Okay, we need then, of course, y value to be b. We need b to be greater than 0. So those are the three inequalities that it must satisfy for our point to lie in that shaded region.